May the currency be with you. A virtual lesson on money.
Greetings, Skywalkers. Today I am on the Millennium Falcon. They've asked if I could come up here and help them because they have got some bills and coins that they need help counting. See, they're not used to using currency up here on the Millennium Falcon or anywhere in space, actually. So they need our help. I told them I'd ask you. Would you mind? Great, I can't wait to let them know. Before we go, here's a quick tour of the Millennium Falcon. I even saw BB-8 floating around in the background a minute ago. Where'd you go, BB-8? Are you around? My friends would love to say hi. There he goes. He's always in such a hurry. All right, let's see what we can teach him. So I thought that we would start by reviewing what the different coins are. So let's start with the one that is worth the least amount. Do you remember what it is? That's right, it's the penny. The penny has Abraham Lincoln on it. A lot of you told me he is your favorite president. And on the back we have the Lincoln Memorial from Washington, D.C. We talked about that little bitty Lincoln you can see right in the middle if you use a magnifying glass or just look really closely because some of you have amazingly great eyes. But anyway, worth 1 cent. And when we do touch money, we draw a line. Remember, it does not get dots. It gets a line. And then the one that is second to the lowest value, very good, it's the nickel. And on the nickel, we have Jefferson, and his house, the Monticello, is on the back. Do you remember how much this 5-cent coin gets? How many dots? That's right, 1 dot, because each dot is worth 5. So this is 5 cents. Next, we have the dime. And the dime has Roosevelt on it. And this one is worth 10 cents, so it gets 2 dots. Fantastic. Next, we have the quarter with George Washington, our first president, on it. And it is worth 25 cents, which means it gets how many dots? 5, that's right. So when we're using touch money, the quarter gets 5 dots. So that was a quick review of our coins. Now let's see if we can teach them how to use them and count them. BB-8 found 2 quarters in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. He already had 2 nickels, a dime, and a penny. How much money does he have now? Do you remember doing these types of problems in class? If so, I hope you remember some things that I told you that should help. So first of all, we're going to look at the problem and recall that BB-8 has found 2 quarters in the cockpit. He already has 2 nickels, a dime, and a penny. So that is a total of 6 coins. So the first thing I'm going to do on my whiteboard is I'm going to draw 6 circles. And remember, I told you to do them kind of large so that you can count your dots. So these are my 6 coins, if I can see them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in and label them. Remember, if I have any pennies, I want to put them at the end because I only do slashes for those. So I'm going to save the pennies for the end. So first of all, there are 2 quarters. So I'm going to put 2 quarters in my circles. Next, there are 2 nickels. So I'm going to put 2 ends. And a dime. And then my penny at the end. So do you remember this so far? Now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to put my dots in and count by what? 5s. That's right. So that's what we're going to do next. All right. So do you remember how many dots a quarter gets? 5. If you forget, remember, if a quarter is worth 25, we're going to start and count by 5s using our fingers. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So if I do that, it takes 5 of my fingers, so that is 5 dots. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm using a red marker so that they stand out more. Do you remember doing that before? So you might want to grab yourself a marker or a bright crayon or red pen, something that makes them stand out. So I'm going to go ahead and do my other quarter. What about a nickel? How many does it get? Since it's worth 5 cents, when we count our fingers to 5, it only takes 1. 5. So nickels get 1 dot. And what about a dime? Since it's worth 10, we're going to count by 5s to 10. 5, 10. That takes 2 fingers, so it gets 2 dots. Now remember, the penny is only worth 1 cent, so it doesn't get dots, it gets a slash. So I'm going to just draw a line. So when I'm finished, it looks like this. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to count by 5s to find out how much BB-8 has now. So count with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Take a deep breath and count by ones. 71. So BB-8 has 71 cents. And don't forget your cent sign so that we know what you're talking about. So that's how much you have, BB-8. Jar Jar Binks has these coins. What is the total value? Okay, so in a question like this, it's easy to see how many coins you have because you saw the picture of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count how many coins there were, and I'm going to draw that number of circles on my board. So I counted 7. So I'm going to put 7 circles on my board. And these 7 circles are going to represent the 7 coins in the picture. And once again, you need to draw them large. They don't have to be beautiful circles, just large enough for you to put your dots in and be able to count them. So here is mine. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to figure out what each of these coins are. So the first coin that I see on here looks like this. And that is a what? A quarter. Fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and label my first coin with a Q. The second coin that I see here looks like this. And that is a dime. Very good. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dime in my next circle. So this is what I have so far, just to kind of let you see what I'm doing. All right. The next coin that I'm looking at looks like this one, and that is a nickel. Very good, Jefferson. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to go ahead and put an N in. Now I also see that I have 2 of these, and these are of course pennies. So since I have 2, I'm going to go ahead and put those at the very end because I want to make sure that my pennies are at the end so I don't try to count them by 5s and I don't have to switch back and forth. Also, I have another dime and another nickel. So I'm going to go ahead and put another dime and another nickel in. It really doesn't matter what order that you put your coins in, the silver ones, because you're going to count by 5s, but the pennies, of course, are going to be changing to counting by 1, so that's when it changes. So in my quarter, just like before, it's going to get 5 dots. Dimes, because they're worth 10 cents, get 2. A nickel gets 1 because it's only worth 5 cents. And of course my pennies are going to get slashes. So this is what it looks like. Now all I have to do is count by 5s. So in just a second we're going to be able to tell Jar Jar how much money that he has. So let's help me count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, take a deep breath, and add 2, 56, 57. So Jar Jar has 57 cents. So that's how much you have, Mr. Jar Jar Binks. Darth Vader has these coins. What is the total value? So this is the part of the video that I would like for you to pause and see if you could find out how much money Darth Vader has. Because we've been practicing, reviewing, dusting off the brain. I'm hoping now that you remember some of these things. So go ahead and pause now and then come back and see if you get the same answer I get. Okay, so I'm going to see if you paused and got the correct answer. If you needed a little more practice, that's fine too. So I'm going to start by drawing 5 circles because Darth Vader actually has 5 coins. One of his coins is the large coin. Do you remember what it was called? I don't have any of these guys to help you out, but it's called the $50. And that is worth 50 cents because a dollar is worth 100 and half of 100 is 50. So remember, I always told you to start in Touch Money with your largest one, which is 50, so that you don't have to draw 10 dots. You can just start counting by 5s at 50. Now, if you need to draw 10 dots and start at 5, that's okay. But a lot of us had figured out that if we start at 50, we can just count on to that. 55, 60, 65, 70. So that would be the easiest way to do it. I also see that Darth Vader has one of these guys, and that's a penny, which always goes at the end because that's when we start counting by ones. He has a dime. He also has a nickel, not to be confused with a quarter. And he has a quarter. So now I have all of my coins drawn in. Now I'm going to go back and do my dots. As we remember, dimes get 2 dots. Nickels get 1. Quarters get 5. And the penny gets a slash. So this is what I have. Are you ready to count with me? Let's start at 50. 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. Deep breath. 90 plus 1, 91 cents. So our friend Darth Vader has 91 cents. Princess Leia has these bills. How much money does she have? Okay, now that we have reviewed counting coins, we are going to review counting bills. So Princess Leia here has 6 bills. I've gone ahead and drawn 6 rectangles because, as you all know, I love to draw all things in math just to make it a little bit easier. Now, in coins, I don't really worry too much about the order. I do like to put 50 cents at the beginning and pennies at the end. But as far as silver coins go, it really doesn't matter. But with bills, I like to start with the one that's worth the most and work my way down to the ones that are worth the least. So I see here the highest bill that Princess Leia has is a 10, and she has 2 of those. So I've gone ahead and put 2 10s. She also has 2 5s. And then she has 2 1s. So this is what Princess Leia has. So now in order to count this, I can count 10, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32. So I have $32 for Miss Princess Leia. But I also like to go ahead sometimes and stack them up. I know that some of you enjoy doing that. So what I do is I see that 2 10s make a 20. So I go ahead and I put a 20 along the side. Now, 2 5s make a 10. So I'm going to check those off and I'm going to add 20 plus 10. And I have 2 1s left, which is $2. I have to make sure that I put the 2 in the 1s place because there are 2 1s. And then I'm going to draw my line down the middle. And if I add 0 plus 0 and 2, I get 2. And if I add 2 plus 1, I get 3. And so once again, I see that Princess Leia has $32. So either of those ways will work, either mental math or we can stack it up. Luke Skywalker has the following bills. What is the total value? Once again, now that we have reviewed counting bills, I would like for you to pause this lesson and see if you get the same answer as I do for Luke Skywalker's amount of money. Okay, so now let's check and see how you did. So Luke Skywalker has 6 bills, so I'm going to go ahead and draw those out. And I'm going to start with the highest amount that he has, which is a $20 bill. So I'm going to start at the top with it. Then he has a $10 bill, 2 $5 bills, and 2 $1 bills. So this is what my board looks like. Once again, I'm going to start here and count. 20 plus 10 is 30, plus 5 is 35, plus 5 is 40, 41, 42. So I see that Luke Skywalker has $42. But like I said before, if you want to stack those numbers up, we can do that. So I can start with a 20, a 10. I know that 2 5s make 10, so I'm going to go ahead and add those up, and 2 1s make 2, making sure to put those in the ones place. So now I can add, and this makes a 2. 2 plus 1 makes a 4. Once again, I get $42. So Luke Skywalker, you have $42. Today's challenge. Number 1, Han Solo has these coins. What is the total value? What I would like for you to do is use your dots or whatever method you wish to find out how much this is worth and write down the value. Number 2, Chewbacca has these bills. He is saving up $45 for an action figure of himself. Does he have enough money? If not, how much more does he need? So first you need to let me know, does he have enough money? And then the second part of the question is, if not, how much does he need? So those are the 2 questions that I would like for you to answer for today's challenge. I will also include your IXL lessons in just a moment.
The IXL lessons that go with this lesson are P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, and P11. Those are a lot of IXL skills, so don't try to do them all at one time. Remember, you have all week. Also, remember, 20 is plenty, and I'll see you tomorrow.